Hi everyone and welcome back to a drying out alpaca apiary. We've got some lovely sunshine, we've had thunderstorms and torrential rain again, but it's all drying out nicely, so we're back up to do some regular inspections, but also to check on the drone laying queen colony that we shook out last time and to see whether they've had any chance to start to generate some queen cells in the frame of eggs that we put in. So let's head off into the apiary and see how they're getting on. So here we are, this is our drone laying queen colony that we shook out, and we'll just have a quick look. I've not looked in them yet. We'll just pop the roof off and really just see how they're doing. Well, we still have bees in here, so I suppose that's one good thing. And you'll recall that we had cut back the frames. If you haven't seen the previous video to this, take a look at the video. I think it's called Trying to Save a Drone Laying Queen Colony. So they're actually trying to make some queen cells on the piece that we've cut away. So maybe we left a few eggs in there. So we'll just have a look through and see what they've done with the frame that we supplied them that had the eggs. I think that was a frame of stores, so let's have a look at the next one. So not a single queen cell. So that means that we're likely to still have the queen in here. So we really need to go through, and in fact I can see that there are eggs in this particular frame. So having shaken them all out, we appear to have the queen returned back here somehow. So we'll just go through them. I'm pretty well convinced that these are not egg-laying workers, because the eggs are nicely laid at the bottom of the cells. So what I'm going to do is go back to the truck and get my glasses, and then we'll have a thorough inspection and see if we can find the queen. So I've had a look through, and interestingly, when I've got to this frame, I've noticed a couple of things. Firstly, even though we've got the wires in place, they've actually drawn comb down and gone through the wire. So they've drawn comb on both sides of the wire, and the wire now sits firmly embedded in the middle of that comb. So cutting them back like this for future reference is something that looks as if it will probably work. Unfortunately, the bad news is that it's an egg-laying worker colony, not a drone-laying queen colony. And despite having cells with eggs that are appearing in the bottom of the cell, when I look at this frame, and we'll give you a close-up in a second, we've got multiple eggs in cells, and also cells on the eggs on the side wall of the cells as well. So that's a real strong indicator that it's an egg-laying worker colony. And unfortunately, there's not really a great deal that we can do. We would need to unite these with another colony. And one of the problems that we face in having so many different types of hive is that we don't currently have any Langstroth colonies away from this site. So if I were to move another colony over here to suppress this egg-laying worker colony, unfortunately all the flying bees are going to go back to their original site. So that's something I need to address in the future. Another site with Langstroth hives so that I can bring additional colonies in to help rectify this kind of situation. What we could do, again, if we had the kit, is we could bring the colony over and put a nuke box on the stand of a very strong colony, and to suppress this egg-laying worker instinct, we need a really strong colony that's going to get in, and the workers will dominate these workers and stop them from producing eggs. We would need another really strong colony. We could put a nuke box with a queen cell on the original stand where the flying bees are going to go back to, and then bring the remaining box over with the queen in it, and that would hopefully work. But again, I would be concerned that we'd be depleting that stronger colony with the flying bees going elsewhere. So the only other thing that we could do is to take this colony and another colony to another site and put them on top of each other, and that's possibly something that we could also do, but we'd need to wait until late evening when all the flying bees were back into the hive. But let's bring the camera in and we'll show you some of these cells that have got the multiple eggs in them. So what we're looking at here are these cells just at the bottom, and I'm not sure whether the camera's picking them up, but inside these cells we've got multiple eggs, and you might even be able to see eggs on the side wall of the cells. And if we just zoom in and bring the image down onto this section of comb here, we'll be able to show you exactly what we've got in terms of multiple eggs in multiple cells. So here you can see exactly what happens when the ovaries of workers are switched on and the colony is queenless, and you have multiple workers who are all trying to lay eggs. Now, these are unfertilized eggs, so they will become drones. There is no way that this colony can now rescue itself, even if it makes queen cells, because the queen cells will have unfertilized eggs in and they'll turn into drones. But you can see quite clearly in these cells the multiple eggs that have been laid by these workers. And I think that's a really interesting thing to see, and hopefully you won't ever suffer from this kind of thing, but at least now you can identify exactly what egg-laying worker colonies look like. So unfortunately it's a little disappointing, because I was hoping that it was a drone-laying queen colony and we could have produced a queen cell for you, but I hope that in showing you this failed colony, it allows you to see what egg-laying workers look like, and also it illustrates that beekeeping is one of those things that you never really know what's going to happen. So if you've got any questions, then please do post them beneath the video. We've taken some photographs to show those cells close up, and we'll post some of those for you as well, and hopefully none of you out there are suffering the same kind of problems as we have with this one. Thanks very much for your support, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up next time.